Hey there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff Valeri, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker, and in today's episode, I'm going to go over 5 things you should never say when buying a house. This episode is great for home buyers. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go. Buying a house. What an exciting time. I like to relate it to, navigating a minefield with a blindfold on. All kidding aside, buying a house is an exciting time. However, as a buyer, it can get stressful as there's a lot of moving parts to this process. However, one thing you can keep an eye on is what you say as a buyer. Because if you say the wrong thing, it can either hurt you in negotiations or worse, it could upset somebody, even if it's not on purpose, and it could end up hurting the deal for you. And I don't want that to happen. So today I'm going to go over 5 things as a buyer you should never say. All right, so the first thing you should never say as a buyer is any type of statement that shows your increased motivation. So buyers, a lot of times when they go to, say, an open house, or maybe they meet the listing agent directly, they start talking about why they want to live in that neighborhood. Example could be, hey, my sister lives on this street, or my kids need to go to this great school that this house is located in that school zone. Now here's the problem. When you're talking to either the seller or the seller's representative, realize their job is to sell the house for the most amount of money. That's the way this system works. So any type of statement you give that shows your increased motivation, like you need this house or you want to be in this particular area, means that they can use it against you in negotiations. I mean, let's face it, that's why these houses in top-ranked schools tend to sell for 10% higher than all the rest of them, because people know that these buyers want to be in that school zone. So again, it's not like you can hide everything. However, you don't need to disclose your personal family situation when buying a house. It actually hurts you in negotiations. Number 2, this one may seem obvious, but never discuss how high you're willing to go in negotiations. Sellers and their realtors will catch any little glimpse of how much they think you can spend, and guess what? The negotiation will go right to that number. Now, on the flip side, you do need to discuss with your own personal realtor where your top dollar is, because a lot of times negotiation is a strategy. And if I'm working for someone who's not telling me the full truth because they think, it basically creates 3 layers of negotiation, and that's not really the best way to get your result. Listen, if you don't feel comfortable talking to your own real estate person about where you're willing to go or how you're going to negotiate this game, then why are you working with them to begin with? They need to understand, that way you can create a proper plan in order to negotiate yourself the best outcome. Number 3, please do not comment on people's personal decor, family pictures, or anything else. Selling a home is a really emotional process, and people have a tendency to get personally offended when people don't like the way they live. I guess it's just because we all live in our own bubbles and we think we see the world through our lens. So when you're a home buyer and you go inside a house, even if it's tacky, even if it's ugly, even no matter what, stick to the facts about the house, and please don't make comments on decor. You'll be surprised at how many people have monitoring devices in their house where they find out what you're saying. Because a perfectly good deal that otherwise would have happened can be scrapped because all of a sudden one side is offended and doesn't like the other side. There are a lot of sellers that'll basically say no to selling a house simply out of emotion, even if it's the best offer they have. So my advice, always keep the comments professional, because you never know who's listening. Number 4, closely related to the last point, don't talk about doing major renovations inside the house or to the seller at any point in before you buy the house. Because again, you got to remember, people have lived in this house, they think it's great, and they're looking for a buyer who wants to buy the house as is. Now, the reality is most people do work to a house. They want to make it their own. Just keep those conversations to yourself. Or better yet, if you're in the house and you do want to do renos, take some notes, and when you get outside, have the conversation there. There's no need for the seller to hear your conversations about how you want to tear out the kitchen, tear off the wood paneled walls that they spent so much time making really nice back in 1994. Okay? Keep those comments to your realtor and yourself outside the house. And finally, the last thing you should never say when buying a house, and it's actually ask your real estate person what they think the home is worth while you're actually inside the house. I have a lot of clients who always ask me that question, and I'm like, guys, we'll go outside and we'll have a discussion, okay? Call me superstitious. Listen, always treat a home like it's being monitored, and that's just the best way to do it. Actually, most people don't, but I always do. Now, guys, I'm not superstitious. I base things on numbers. I just know that the percentage of people do listen in on conversations. So do not talk about what you think the value of the house is worth inside the house. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on 5 things as a buyer you should never say when buying a home. Now, if you're looking for a house in the Mississauga West GTA area, I invite you to download my latest book, The 4 Home Buyer Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. It's packed full of my best stuff on how to get the best deal in real estate. It'll help prepare you in your process. It's totally free, and I encourage you to read it. Well, there you have it. I'm Jeff O'Leary. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, always feel free to call or email me. Have yourself a great day.